Good morning, children. Today, let's start with the first lesson Two Gentlemen of Verona. This is a very beautiful story. It is written by A.J. Cronin. Now, let's see something about the author. Archibald Joseph Cronin was a Scottish novelist, dramatist, and physician. Scottish. So, he belongs to the country Scotland. I just want you to remember what we have learnt in 11th standard about United Kingdom. What is United Kingdom? What are the countries that come under United Kingdom? Yes, it's England, Ireland, Scotland, and Wales. Now, this Archibald Joseph Cronin, he belongs to Scotland and he is a doctor by profession. Cronin was one of the most renowned storytellers of the 20th century. So he was born in 1896 and he died in 1981. Many of his stories have emerged from his medical career and are noted for their narrative skill, deep social conscience, and finely drawn characters. Since Cronin was a doctor by profession, all his stories had a tinge of something related to medicine or diseases. Cronin's books were not only bestsellers, but some of them were made into successful films and were adapted for radio and television. His novel, Country Doctor, was adapted for a long running BBC radio and TV series. So, shall we have a small recap about Archibald Joseph Cronin? Yes, he was a Scottish novelist, dramatist, and physician. He was a doctor by profession and he is a very skillful writer. And one can see that a tinge of something related to medicine and diseases that can be seen in all his stories. Now, let's move on to the lesson. Two Gentlemen of Verona. Verona is a small place in Italy. Hope you know Italy. What is the capital of Italy? Yes, Rome is the capital of Italy. And this story revolves around the place Verona. Here is a story about love, devotion, sacrifice, sincerity, and maturity displayed by two little boys in their actions to save their life of their sister who suffers from tuberculosis of the spine. So, this is a story of many things, that is, love, devotion, sacrifice, sincerity, and maturity. Of whom? Of two little boys. Why are they so dedicated? What are they sacrificing in their lives? Because everything they are doing for their sister who suffers from tuberculosis of spine. What is tuberculosis? We are very familiar. Yes, the phlegm that is covered the lungs. That is tuberculosis, a disease which when a person is suffering from severe cold, chronic means for a long time. Naturally, the phlegm, what happens, it surrounds the lungs and later on it becomes as tuberculosis. Now, what is tuberculosis of spine? Means the tuberculosis lasts for a long time. Thus, even the spinal cord they are getting affected by the tuberculosis. So the person will be suffering a lot. Now we shall move on to the lesson. As we drove through the foothills of the Alps, two small boys stopped us on the outskirts of Verona. Alps. Have you ever heard of the term Alps? Yes, they are the highest mountain range in Europe and they cover various countries, nearly 5 to 6 countries. These Alps mountain range they cover. Yes. Now, as we drove, we hear the author, the narrator, as they drove through the foothills of the Alps, two small boys stopped us on the outskirts of Verona. As I said earlier, Verona is a place in Italy. So this author, he was driving in a car. He was driving in a car and he was stopped by two small boys on the outskirts. What do you mean by outskirts? ஊருக்கு வெளியில. Yes, they were selling wild strawberries. So we all know when we travel in the highways, you could have seen the vendors. They'll be selling fruits, vegetable, flowers, everything. And these boys, they stopped the car and they were selling wild strawberries. Wild strawberries means strawberries that are grown in the forests. Don't buy, warned Luigi, our cautious driver. You will get much better fruit in Verona besides these boys. So the driver's name, we come across a character name. His name is Luigi. Luigi is the driver of the narrator. So he cautions the the narrator not to buy the fruits from these small boys. And he also suggests that there are better fruits in the city. He shrugged his shoulders to convey his disapproval of their shabby appearance. So this driver was not in favor of buying fruits from these small boys who are selling these fruits on the outskirts of Verona. So this driver, what he did, he shrugged his shoulders. Shrug means raise one shoulder slightly. That means showing some disapproval. எப்படி இருந்துச்சு, நல்லா இல்லை. அப்போ only when we are telling something negative, we shrug our shoulders. So this driver showed his disapproval. Why? Because of their shabby appearance. So the dress the children wore were very shabby. Shabby means dirty. One boy had on a worn jersey and cut off khaki pants. Jersey is a long sleeved t-shirt. So there, the two boys, one was wearing a worn jersey, that's a long sleeve t-shirt, and cut off khaki pants. It was not to the, it was not long. It was just below the knees. The other, a shortened army tunic. Army tunic. Tunic means it is a long shirt. Yeah, you can view this in your screen. It's the person is wearing a tunic, a long shirt, and mostly tunics are sleeveless, gathered in loose folds about a skinny frame. So these boys, they seem to be very, very thin. And what is the reason for them to be skinny? Because of their poverty. Small children at those age, they'll be going to school to study. But these children, they were standing on the outskirts, and what were they selling? Wild strawberries. And what was their appearance? Shabby appearance. And how were they looking? Very skinny. Skinny means very thin. Yet, gazing at the two little figures with their brown skins, tangled hair, dark, earnest eyes, we felt ourselves strangely attracted. So, now the author or the narrator, he explains how these boys looked. There were two small, tiny figures. They were thin, shabbily dressed, and they had brown skin. As they were standing in the sun selling strawberries, they were having tanned skin. Though they must be fair, because of standing in the hot sun for a long time, they become brown skin. Tangled hair. The hairs were not trimmed, not combed properly, and with dark, earnest eyes. Earnest, very sincere. The boys, though they were small, they were doing their work very sincerely. We felt ourselves strangely attracted. Something attracted the author towards the little boys. My companion spoke to the boys. My companion, who is here? My companion, the driver, Luigi. He spoke to the boys, discovered that they were brothers. So, who were they? These two boys, they were not friends or anyone else, they were brothers. Niccolo the elder was 13. Jacopo, who barely came up to the door handle of the car, was nearly 12. So, we come across another two characters. Niccolo, he is the eldest one, he must be of 13 years of age, and Jacopo, his brother, was younger and he was 12 years old. So, this young boy, Jacopo, 12 years old boy, came near the car and he wanted to sell the wild strawberries. We bought their biggest basket and then set off toward town. So now the author, he made up his mind, though he was cautioned by the driver Luigi not to buy wild strawberries from these two boys who had very shabby appearance. The author made up his mind to buy something from these two poor little boys. So he just chose a very big basket, their biggest basket, and he bought it and then he started towards this town because now they were standing on the outskirts of Verona. Now the author, along with the driver, they were moving towards the town. Next morning, coming out of our hotel, we saw our friends bent over shoe shine boxes beside the fountain in the public square doing brisk business. So, the previous day, the authors he saw these two boys on the outskirts of Verona selling wild strawberries. And the next day, he was really surprised to see these two boys. They have entered the town, Verona, and what were they doing? Outside the hotel, the hotel was situated on the main area, and outside the hotel, he saw they were bending and they were shining shoes to the passers by, getting some money, a very meager amount, of course. They were shining, polishing the shoes. And the place where they were sitting was a main place. It is called Public Square, where many people they come and go. And there was a fountain beside the public square. Hope you have seen a fountain. Yes, and these two boys they were now polishing shoes in the town of Verona. We watched for a few moments. Then, as trade slackened, we went over. They greeted us with friendly faces. So, this author, along with his driver, they were waiting afar, a bit far from these two boys who were polishing the shoes of the passerby. So, what they did, they waited for the crowd to get slow. We watched for a few moments. Then a trade slackened. Slacken means reduce. As the crowd was reduced, the author and the driver they went near the boys. They greeted us with friendly faces. Though the boys were very poor, one can see poverty in their outlook. They were having a cheerful smile. How many of us brood over for small things? சின்ன விஷயம் நமக்கு நடக்காமல் போனால் கூட நம்ம எவ்வளோ சோர்ந்து போயிடுறோம் வாழ்க்கையில். பட் தீஸ் டூ பாய்ஸ் தே were so cheerful. One day they were selling wild strawberries standing on the road on the hot sun. And the next day this author was so surprised to see them polishing shoes and they were so cheerful. These two boys, one was 13, the other one was 12. Small boys, they greeted the author and the driver. They greeted in a very friendly way. Friendly way means with a cheerful smile. I thought you picked fruit for a living, I said. We do many things, sir, Niccolo answered seriously. He glanced at us hopefully. Often we show visitors through the town to Juliet's tomb and other places of interest. So now this author was surprised to know why these two boys they were doing so many different jobs rather than doing one single job. So he asked, I thought you picked fruit for a living. Living means for their survival. I thought you used to sell fruits by picking them and selling them on the outskirts. And this boy, Niccolo, what he does, he says, we do many things, sir. We not only pick flowers, pick fruits, but also do many works like polishing shoes. He glanced at us hopefully. See, in the previous paragraph, we happened to see that they had a very friendly face. Now they have, now the author says that they answer it hopefully. See, one can see the optimistic behavior of the boys. He glanced at us hopefully. Often we show visitors through the town. What do you mean by this job? Often we show visitors through the town. We all know that people work as guide when we go to historical places or some places of tourist spots. We happen to see people working as guide. They'll be helping us and explaining us about that place. For example, if you go to Hyderabad, you happen to go to Golconda Fort. It's a very historical. It's a great historical place. So you can see many people working as guide. So what is the work of guide? They'll be taking you around the historical place and they'll be explaining how the king here ruled, how many wives he had, how many children he had, and who were the ministers, and what is which is the special place for the ministers to form in the morning. All these things will be explained by the guide. Now these two boys, they were working as a guide. Often we show visitors through the town to Juliet's tomb. So we may wonder, who is Juliet? So Juliet is a character in Shakespeare's story Romeo and Juliet. It's a very beautiful love story written by William Shakespeare, Romeo and Juliet, and it is believed that Juliet's tomb was there in Verona. Yes, so these two boys, they were acting as a guide and they were taking people who come there to visit Juliet's tomb and other places of interest. Of interest means tourist spots, historical places. All right, I smiled. You take us along. Now, the narrator was so impressed by the way the boys introduced themselves and the jobs they did. And now, the author, he readily agreed and said that they can act as a guide and take them along to show the various places in Verona. As we made the rounds, my interest was again provoked by their remarkable demeanor. Provoked means aroused. Provoked, aroused by their remarkable demeanor. Demeanor means outward behavior. They were very modest. As we made the rounds, as we were taken by these boys around the city of Verona, they were aroused by their remarkable demeanor behavior. They were childish enough and in many ways quite artless. Artless means natural. யதார்த்தமாக. இந்த குழந்தைங்க வந்து அவங்களுடைய தோற்றம் எப்படி வேணாலும் இருக்கலாம். ஆனால் அவங்களுடைய செயல்கள், அவங்க செய்யக்கூடிய வேலைகள் எல்லாமே முழுமனதாக செய்கிறாங்க. யதார்த்தமாக இருந்துச்சு. மற்றவங்களுக்காக வெளி தோற்றத்தோட நம்ம முன்னாடி ஒரு மாதிரி பேசுவாங்க, பின்னாடி ஒரு மாதிரி பேசுவாங்க, அப்படி இல்லாமல் இந்த குழந்தைங்க ரொம்ப யதார்த்தமாக, ஆர்ட்லெஸ் மீன்ஸ் வெரி நேச்சுரல். 13 years, 12 years. என்ன படிச்சுட்டு இருப்பாங்க? ஹார்ட்லி 6th standard and 7th standard. But see how dedicated they were towards their work. And they were artless. They were not artificial in their behavior. They were very natural. Jacopo was lively as a squirrel. Squirrel. Why is this example squirrel given? Squirrel is very fast in doing. இங்கே ஓடுறது, அங்கே ஓடுறது, ஏதாச்சும் ஒன்று கீச் கீச் கீச்சுன்னு பண்ணுறது. So Jacopo was lively as a squirrel. Niccolo's smile was steady and engaging. நிக்கோலோ ஆனால் எப்படி ரொம்ப நிதானமாக யோசித்து ஒவ்வொரு விஷயமும் தெளிவாக செய்கிறான். பிகாஸ் நிக்கோலோ வாஸ் எல்டர் அண்ட் ஜேக்கபோ வாஸ் யங்கர்ன்றப்ப ரொம்ப சின்ன பையன் இல்லை, just 1 year younger. But what was the comparison given? Jacobo was compared to a squirrel, a very smart, very shrewd, very lively. And Niccolo's eyes smiled. Niccolo's smile was steady and engaging. Engaging means though he was seeing so many places, yet he was very, very steady in his work. What he was assigned? He was assigned to work as a guide to the narrator. Now he was doing his work very perfectly. Yet, in both these boyish faces, there was a seriousness which was far beyond their years. These boys were very small. Niccolo was 13 and Jacopo was only 12 years old. They were childish in behavior, but there was seriousness which was far beyond their years. அவங்களுடைய வேலைகள் என்னமோ கஷ்டப்பட்டு செய்கிறாங்க, எதனால் அப்படின்ட்டு யோசித்து பார்க்குறப்ப அவங்க முகத்தில் ஒரு ரொம்ப தீர்க்கமான ஒரு எண்ணம் ஓடிட்டுருக்கிறத இந்த ஆத்தரால் புரிஞ்சிக்க முடியுது. There was seriousness which was far beyond their years. அவங்க வயதுக்கு மீறி ஏதோ ஒரு சிந்தனை, ஏதோ ஒரு அழுத்தம் அவங்க மனசில் இருக்குது. In the week which followed, we saw them frequently. So this author had some work to stay in Verona for a week. And every day, many times, he happened to see these two boys. Who? Niccolo and Jacopo. How old was Niccolo? Niccolo was 13 and Jacopo was 12 years old. Yes. For they proved extremely useful to us. Now the author is so happy about the acquaintance he had with these two boys. He says they were extremely useful. Why he says so? Because these two boys, they are so familiar with the places in Verona that the author found so easy to go to whichever place he wanted to without any discomfort or any difficulty. These two boys were very smart to guide the author around the city of Verona. If he wanted a pack of American cigarettes or seats for the opera or the name of good restaurant, Niccolo and Jacopo could be relied upon to satisfy our needs. So the author gives a list of things which Niccolo and Jacopo were relied upon. Reliedna சார்ந்திருக்கிறது. ஸோ இந்த ஆத்தர் என்ன பண்ணுறாரு, நிறைய விஷயங்கள் இந்த ரெண்டு பசங்களையும் சார்ந்து இருக்கிறார். ஏன்னா சிரமம் இல்லாமல் அந்த வெரோனாவை அவங்க சுற்றி காமிக்கிறாங்க. என்னென்ன வேலை, சின்ன சின்ன வேலைகள் அவங்கள்ட்ட வாங்கிக்கிறாங்க அப்படின்னு பார்க்குறச்சு, when we wanted to buy a pack of American cigarettes. அடுத்து seats for the opera. ஒப்பேரான்றது இஸ் அ மியூசிக்கல் கான்சர்ட். அங்கே டிக்கெட் புக் பண்ணுமா? ஓகே, இந்த பாய்ஸை பிடிச்சாங்க. தென் நேம் ஆஃப் த குட் ரெஸ்டாரண்ட் ஏதாச்சும் நல்ல ஹோட்டல்ஸா இந்த பசங்களை கேட்டால் தீஸ் பாய்ஸ் வேர் ஸோ ஸ்மார்ட். தே ஜஸ்ட் ஷோட் the very best restaurant which had very tasty food in that place, Verona. Niccolo and Jacopo could be relied upon to satisfy our needs. ஸோ நிக்கலோ அண்ட் ஜேக்கோபோவை அவங்க ரொம்ப சார்ந்திருந்தது என்னத்துக்காக, எல்லா விஷயத்துலேயும் அந்த ஆத்தருடைய எல்லா தேவைகளையும் அவங்க பூர்த்தி செஞ்சாங்க. Now what are the things? Like buying American cigarettes, booking tickets for opera, then to choose a good restaurant. இந்த மாதிரி சின்ன சின்ன வேலைகள். பட் the author found their support very great. What struck one most was their willingness to work. What struck one most was their willingness to work. These two boys they were ever ready to do any work given to them by the people. Now the author was so impressed to see that these two boys, they were so willingly coming to work for the author. என்ன வேலை சொன்னாலும் முகம் கொடாமல் இல்லையா, வீட்டில் உங்களை அப்பா அம்மா என்ன சொல்கிறாங்க, இது கொஞ்சம் வாங்கிட்டு வந்துருப்பா, இல்லைம்மா முடியாது நான் வேலையாக இருக்கேன், இதை கொஞ்சம் எடுத்து வச்சிருப்பா, இப்போ எனக்கு முடியாது, நான் அப்புறம் செய்கிறேன். We tell excuses. But these two boys, they were very small, 12 and 13, but they were so willing to do any work given to them, and that too with a very cheerful face. During these summer days under the hot sun, they shined shoes, sold fruit, hawked newspapers, conducted tours round the town, and ran errands. See, one thing I wanted to tell you here is they hawked newspaper. We come across a new term called hawked. Hawk means it's nothing. Selling newspaper. They used to shout and sell. That is called as hawking. Shouting and selling. இல்லையா, வீதியில் வித்துட்டு வராங்க. விற்று நிறைய பேர் வந்து இப்போ உப்பு விற்றுட்டு வராங்க, உப்புன்னு கற்றுவாங்க. மீன் விற்றுட்டு வருவாங்க. இப்போ மல்லிகைப்பூ பூ விற்கிறவங்க பூ விற்றுட்டு வருவாங்க. they used to shout and sell. Now these boys, they hawked newspaper, means they sold newspapers by shouting, and ran errands. We come across another new term. Ran errands means doing small jobs on behalf of someone. வேற யாராச்சும் செய்யக்கூடிய வேலையை வேணாங்க நானே செஞ்சிடுறேன். That is called ran errands. So these two boys, what all the works they did apart from selling wild strawberries on the outskirts of Verona, they polished shoes in the morning in the town of Verona. Then they were working as guide to the people, tourists. Then what did they do? During hot sun, they sold fruit, hawked newspapers. What do you mean by hawked? Hawked is selling newspapers. Hawked is shouting and selling. Conducted tours round the town and ran errands. Just running to do small work that is to be done by someone or other. One night, we came upon them in the windy and deserted square. Deserted means ஆளரவமற்ற. So during night time, usually all the streets will be deserted, uninhabited, ஆளரவமற்ற. So எப்போவுமே அந்த ஸ்கொயர்ன்றது it is the main place. One night we came upon them in the windy and deserted square, resting on the stone pavement beneath the lights. இங்கே லைட்ஸ்ன்றது ஸ்ட்ரீட் லைட். ஸோ அந்த ஸ்கொயரில் இருக்கக்கூடிய ஒரு கல் மேலே ஒரு ஸ்டோன் பேவ்மெண்ட், அந்த ஸ்ட்ரீட் லைட்டு கீழே ஒரு ஸ்டோன் பெஞ்ச் இருக்குது. அந்த ஸ்டோன் பெஞ்சில் பயங்கர காற்று அடிச்சிட்ருக்க நேரம், மட்டும் அல்லாத ராத்திரி. அந்த நேரத்தில் இந்த ரெண்டு பசங்களும் அங்கே உட்காந்துருக்கிறத நம்ம ஆத்தரும் அவங்க டிரைவரும் பார்க்குறாங்க. Niccolo sat upright, tired. So it is very natural, is it not? The whole day they were doing so many odd jobs. What were the odd jobs they were doing? Selling fruits, polishing shoes, hawked newspapers, conducted tours down the town, and they were doing many odd jobs. Now Niccolo sat upright, tired. He was very tired. A bundle of unsold newspapers lay at his feet. Jacopo, his head resting upon his brother's shoulder, was asleep. It was nearly midnight. Usually, at what time you all go to sleep? Yes, after returning home, you feel very tired of the day's classes you would have attended, the assignment you would have done. Then, what you do? You just take something to eat, then do something in your mobile, then spend little time studying, and automatically when you take your book, what happens? You feel sleepy, so you go to sleep. But these two boys, what they did, it was past midnight, nearly midnight, and Niccolo, the eldest one, who was 13 years old, he was sitting upright. Upright means very steady, but looking very tired. And what was beside him? A bundle of unsold newspapers lay at his feet. Jacopo, his head resting upon his brother's shoulder, was asleep. The younger one, Jacopo, was sleeping, and the elder one was awake. It was nearly midnight.